We are right on time. Hello, everybody. It's J Mike with your weekly update. There's my sound check. Weekly update. So, I don't have steady days, so I shouldn't say that. I'm just reaching for stuff to say. So, but I want to make sure that I do that. Nothing gross in the first 30 seconds, guys. It's already past that. It's a beautiful thing. Why am I doing this? I was all set to go perfectly, and then as soon as I clicked that love button, there was like a short circuit. I'm having my coffee. Hi, everybody. It's 9:30 in the Philippines on it's Tuesday. I always have to check. When you're retired, every day is a Saturday, so I got to make sure. I didn't skip a day in my head. I knew it was Tuesday. I'm just messing with you. So, let's see. Expats, Westerners living in the Philippines. Most of you are over 60. A lot of you military guys are in your late 50s, I would think. And how many of you get out of the house every other day or have that itch to get out and not just go 2 kilometers, but not just walk to the beach wherever you live, but actually travel into the city or out of the city, depending on where you live and what are you doing. So are you really living or are you just here doing the occasional video and telling everyone how things are done? I did that, but I did it with Norma. So she was here for me to bounce things off and corroborate. So I know it was true. And we had other help too, not just showing drone footage, the overhead views of the mountains and bays and stuff like that, which you don't see from the ground, and you certainly don't see it in the city. Right, Kelly King? You don't see overhead drone views in the city. All right, thanks for coming in. Awesome. We're just getting started. So what can I say? If there's a good chat, I will go with it. I'll talk about it. So we shall see. We just went live a few moments ago. Well, it's a beautiful day here. It's rainy season, but we've had a couple of good days, not necessarily in succession. What can I say? I used to wear blue and white all the time, either white or blue, because the corporate dress, the suits, the ties. But now I find out I only have one blue T-shirt, one bluish. It's kind of like a dark. It's not even. I don't really think of it as blue, and then a polo that's blue. So oranges and greens and blacks, and I didn't really have very many black T-shirts either. Marty's here. Awesome. Thanks for stepping in. If you guys give me anything interesting in the chat, I'll go with it. But that remains to be seen. Sometimes it ticks me off, and I got to fight because I know BS when I see it, and if I don't, then I'll say I don't, and then I'll say let's look into that. What's he talking about? I can't just say it's young and old, young versus old. I can't say that, but there are some things. If an older person is going to keep himself young-ish, then I can see through the problems that the youth are causing to themselves or for themselves. Like in California. What the hell is going on over there? It's always Los Angeles. You ever notice that? How do these people get elected? It's unbelievable. So I think they've got a hold of software because we're using computers for voting, and it's gotten so bad. But part of it's the universities. You got to look. It's the ownership or the major investments. Who's our biggest investor? Oh, it's BlackRock. They're not your friend. They're not your. And if you think you're in the club, think again. You're not in the club. That's the problem. Eileen, good morning. Listen, they don't like to talk about this because they don't know what to say. And they don't know what it's doing. What it's doing, it's bringing us to the end, guys. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. People say, "Oh, you're crazy. You're out of your mind. Ah, you're out of your mind." Ah, that's what I get on Facebook. Ah, no, Democrats only allowed here. It's like they don't make sense. They don't. And then I just say, "What have you accomplished?" Your profile picture is your little lapdog. That's stupid. Sorry, girls. If your lapdog if your lapdog is your profile picture, you need to look in the mirror. No, good morning, Gina. World War III is here. Don't look at it that way. Do not. The thing that God says the most, if you know anything, is do not be afraid. Do not worry and do not be afraid. If you're saved, you'll feel it. The Holy Spirit will be with you. We know that for sure. Now, what we don't know for sure, we know that the end times are proving to be true from the prophecies. We know that most of the prophecies have come true, not all. You won't know the final prophecy until you go to heaven or hell. Boy, are people in for a rude awakening. There's actually a channel called Rude Awakening, A Rude Awakening, and it's a biblical channel. It's not what you think. So that's the other thing. Not everything is what you think. Don't be deceived. Great deception is happening, Marty, right? Great deception is happening. I got a cameraman. I don't have a stream runner, but I got a cameraman. No, it's on auto. And there it goes. Auto adjust. It's automatic. So that took me the longest. It was working in the app, but it wasn't working on StreamYard. Something changed. I don't know what it was, but anyway, it is what it is. It's working now, and I am grateful. I thought I was going crazy. It's like, what is wrong with me? You spend more money on software, and then it doesn't do what you want to do. And I'm like looking in the settings and instructions and help pages, and finally everything just started working. Like I didn't make any more changes. What's going on here? So what we used to do years ago when we did the four guys on the panel, it was like 2022, everyone would just throw stuff off the wall and I would like make remarks whether I think it's true or not. And whenever I spoke the truth, somebody else on the panel would go, "No, you can't say that. Why? Is YouTube forcing us to lie? Or lie or shut up? You're not in the club. Why are you on their side?" That was ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. Everyone's, and those are like the stupid people. I don't call anyone out personally for being stupid, but there's a lot of you out there. Oh gosh. Those are the ones that won't chat though. So if you're chatting, you're kind of okay. Unless I call you out. Younger adults, especially the people in their early 20s, they strongly think that they can argue it out, work out the argument and win. No, it's not going to happen because they have no clue of they don't know how big the box is for the world of knowledge. Knowledge isn't everything. You need wisdom, and wisdom doesn't come from knowing a set list of things. When will the rapture come? Only the Father. Even Jesus doesn't know. Jesus said, only the Father knows. I do not know, and the angels don't know. So good morning, Norma. You finally showed up. Thanks a lot. My beloved wife. I'm not going to give her up, guys. She is mine because she thinks of me until she decides, oh, I'm going to go over my cousin's house and play cards all day. Bye. And then I think, oh, good. I don't have to order out for lunch. I haven't done that. She said, I'll bring something to eat when I get back. 8 hours later, there's something nice to eat. That's okay. You shouldn't eat all the time. You should not. That's actually a sin. Eating all the time is a sin. You see now they pay people to complain about the president. It's like he just took office. What are you complaining about? We're gonna get rid of him, and they're all like super fat or super stupid. It's like stupid people will take money to do anything because the government fired them from their jobs. It's like America is like in bad shape. No matter how good you're doing. I actually messaged somebody that I was working with. I was her boss, her direct report boss. And she said, it's really bad here. I said, oh, I'm sorry. But if you need a job, I'll get. If she applied for 3 jobs and she got all 3 jobs because I gave her a good reference. And it wasn't just like, yes, she worked here and she was a good employee. It was more than that. I told them about myself, and then I said, oh, and before I hang up, hire her before she gets away. You don't want that. And they hired her right away. Unbelievable. It's the magic words. Good morning, everyone. So I don't know what to do to really, to bring in like 4,000 or 5,000 chatters and viewers while live, but I do know that I'm not going to do what I think it is. It's like kid stuff, like the separation of primary colors. You get the red, blue, and yellow here. We got that going on. Not making much difference. It's very bright out. The brightness changed. It's very bright, so even though I turned down the brightness, we still get it coming in. I wanted some of it, but it's hard to get that just right. But anyway, the other thing is to do kid stuff. Silly, willy nonsense and lots of giggles. Giggles, bells, whistles, whoop, boing, 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 ah, do all that stuff for like 2 hours straight. And when you do that and, show your palms, there's a guy on vidIQ with gigantic glass frames and they're like neon green or red. They're not real glasses. They're just frames. And he puts them on all the time doing his videos. And he comes right out and says it. It's like, that's what kids will click on. Like you see the thumbnails and it's all, they got open mouth like this. And like everyone's doing it to get more clicks. You need that viral video. Or you need to promote, which costs money. So a lot of people just pay into their budget. Here's how much I'm going to spend every month, and then we're going to build the channel, and that's what they do. And when you get so big, then they come, So I guess that does happen at some point. We had a breaking off when I ended the collab. That kind of changed things. So, and then I started growing. I grew after we broke up, but it's a different kind of growth. The live streams weren't really doing Philippine stuff unless I put a live cam outside, and it was kind of like just I don't want to call it trendy, but it was just like a novelty, but not a big thing. People don't see too much wow in that. I did a little short of my cat eating a bird. Like she caught a bird and was eating it, and that only got like 1,000 views or 900 views or whatever. So you don't know how long. I don't know right away until like 48 to 72 hours later, and then they'll tell me how much of the video that was watched and all that stuff. So it takes 2 or 3 days for that info to come in. But really, expats, if you're in the Philippines, you're averaging about 58 to 60 years old. The retirement age is 62. But a lot of you military guys are here before that with disability pay and things like that. There was one guy that did, I don't know where he's living. I don't know if he's living here or in Asia, but he does videos about Social Security and things like that, the pay for retired people. And and other people claiming disabilities, and they want benefits, and they ask the government. I'm finding out that the government gives money for nothing to people. The biggest thing is disability. There's a lot of people collecting it, and they don't feel guilty about it. They don't bat an eyelash. They just take the money. They don't care. And it bothers me because there's billions. They had to get permission to stop spending the money that Elon Musk said was being spent improperly. They still had to get permission from the lying thieves, which is Congress. They're the lying thieves. Everyone in Congress is a lying thief, and we needed permission to get them to agree to stop it. So, because they know trouble's coming, at least in the immediate future. But I haven't seen a congressional person arrested and held for a trial. That must happen. People used to say, Trump needs to be charged with a crime. It must happen. We must get rid of him. But we know this stuff is true. Everything said about Trump was untrue. Because the media is lying. MK Gaming, thanks for coming in. Awesome. If anyone says anything worth talking about, I will do that. Thank you, guys. It's Tuesday morning here. It's a beautiful day. We got the NBA Finals going on. What you got in the finals? There was somebody showing it, and then he had the audacity to, because I think he's from Los Angeles. He had the audacity to make a remark that they're small market. It's like, so what? What? See, and then I started saying he's a good guy, and I started saying the Lakers are the favorite of the NBA league offices. The people running the NBA always put the best available player. They'll take it from another team and put them on the Lakers. Then he goes, the Lakers traded for LeBron James. Yeah, the league orchestrated that. We're putting LeBron on the Lakers. Here's who they're going to get in return. We're making that trade. And then they pretend that it's a legit trade. And they did the same thing with Davis, and they did the same thing with Luka Doncic. They just took him from the Mavericks. Oh, and we have to compensate the Mavericks because, Davis is done. We'll give them the top draft pick. They had the odds of getting the 5th highest draft pick. I remember back in 2007, the Patriots had the odds of winning the draft, the Celtics, of winning that draft based on the odds, and they got the 5th draft pick. So who's kidding who? The league is got that. The draft is fixed. That's why it's not live. Oh, we're going to put the winners in envelopes, and then we're going to tell everyone to open their envelope. How stupid is that? And then we're going to have the CEO of an audit company, accounting firm, certify that this is legit. How much did you pay them? It's all fixed. And there's no rule against it. The New England, switching sports here, the New England Patriots broke a rule that was changed by memo on day one, and now they're considered cheaters. That's ridiculous. Bill Belichick stood up at the Super Bowl and said, there's 80,000 cameras at every game. You're calling us cheaters because we have a camera. It's ridiculous. The location of the camera, if you have it up in the upper deck, that's fine. They still have power zoom. They can get up close on the coach giving the false signals. But if it's behind the bench, you can't do that. That's a technicality. It's the same thing with air coming out in or out of a football. Well, the referee wanted to fuck us over, so the kicking balls are 16 pounds. The throwing balls are 11.5. Aaron Rodgers said, I would rather throw a 16-pound ball, but I can't. They won't let me. And Brady likes them light. So cold weather probably affected it. They had to do it quick. So, how does a fucking outside linebacker intercept a ball for an inside linebacker and know that the pressure is wrong? Like immediately. That was all fixed. The league did that. Put the Patriots under pressure to show everyone that they can still win even though they're under pressure. They can still win. When Brady won the title with Tampa, they said, "Oh, it was Tom Brady all along." Oh yeah, one guy came along that nobody wanted. He didn't play his rookie season because they already had a high-paid quarterback, and then it had nothing to do with the coach. Brady stepped into a powerful roster. He did the same thing in Tampa. If Jameis Winston wasn't as bad as he was, they would have won without Brady. Belichick just said, "Well, he's my best chance of winning the way things are now, so I'll keep him as long as I can." But all good things come to an end. We shall see what happens. Everyone's got to figure it out in their, like, because I watch a lot of the videos, they have all got it figured out. And then I realize they're all kids. They're all like 25, 30. What do you know? Do you remember when Darryl Stingley got paralyzed? Who was the safety that hit him in 1974? I think it was 74. Might have been 75. Oh, no, it was 78. In 1978, Darryl Stingley got hit, and wide receiver for the Patriots got hit and paralyzed by, was it Aiken? I forget his name. He was on the Raiders. He died. Stingley's still alive. But Stingley never played football again. He was paralyzed. People look at, like, the draft, like, 2-3 years in a row, and then they think they know everything that's going to happen. And there's all good news for their team. In the offseason, their team's getting all the good news, right? And they don't realize what's going on. And then how do you improve everything drastically and then have everyone predict that you're going to have the same record as you had last year when you picked third? That's ridiculous. You won the draft, you won the free agency period, and you upgraded with like 4 former head coaches in your staff. Like, nobody does that. You did all of it, and then the prognosticators are all like, "Oh no, they're still not going to win because we don't want them to." People will predict what they wish. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. MK Gaming, thanks for stepping in. So what else you got, guys? Give me something to talk about, and we will do that. The doorbell's ringing. I don't know who the effing... Oh, I get upset. When I don't want something to happen, I get upset. Who could it be now? Should I even check? Coco, who is it? What do you got your collars out? What's going on here? What'd you do? My cat, my Siamese cat, she got her arm outside the neck collar. What is going on here? It's too tight. Are you crazy? Huh? Look at the camera. She got nice blue eyes. Check it out. She won't look. Look at the camera. She's got beautiful blue eyes. Awesome. All the other cats have like green and brown. Greenish. Oh, Coco. She always wants to climb up on me. She's a cuddle bug. Wants the cuddles. So, expats living in the Philippines or Thailand. I get guys that lived here and then they go to Thailand and it's like, Thailand's so much better than the Philippines. Yeah, it's America East. You don't want that. I don't want that. Maybe you do, but I don't. There's beautiful places here. I did a video of it's a gated community up in Angeles City, where all the trannies are transgendered, what they like to be called, in the bars, and you can get real girls there, but it's like red light district. And but we visited a gated community in there with the cheapest house was $1 million US dollars. And someone that I know couldn't believe it. He lives in Thailand. He goes between Los Angeles and Thailand, and that's like, do you really have houses like that? Yeah. There are a lot of there's a lot of good living here, but you gotta be part of ownership. You gotta own it. You can't just walk in. They'll stop you. In order to drive in, there's a gate, but with the arm that comes down, but you also got to drop off your driver license. You're not going to go anywhere or run away. You're not making a quick getaway. They'll snap you. So the houses are fantastic. And they're huge. There was like 5 or 6 master bedrooms on the second level, all with their own bathroom. Like they call it comfort room here, CR. But all beautiful. I couldn't believe it. And that's just they had a vacant second level. It was perfect for they even had a party room. Like they have a big entrance area walking up the stairs, and then a huge party room, but that was like empty. But they sold it and moved out. Oh, they're selling it. And they moved to Thailand, of all places, and to get a cheaper place. But I think cheaper means smaller too. It won't be as big. But they didn't really need that huge space. The downstairs was big enough. I didn't even see all the rooms. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. But what are you expats doing if you're living in Southeast Asia? What are you, from day to day, what are you doing? A lot of guys we're all getting older, but some of you were here 2-3 years ago, and now I don't see you, which may or may not be bad news, but like I still get out. We get plans tomorrow to get back out. I'm going to do a little ice skating. What else? What else are we going to do? We'll eat. We love to eat. We don't really eat that much, but I love to be in beautiful restaurants. There's no doubt about that. That's always wonderful. Thailand has that. I'm sure they have a lot of street food that you wouldn't want. It's like I can't eat everything because I don't eat a lot, but I love it. I love good food. The title of the show is It Is Beautiful Here Today. It's a beautiful day. But if you get anything to gossip about, stick it in the chat, in the comments. I'll determine if we should talk about it. That's always interesting. You always draw a crowd when you do that, but I get nothing to really say offhand. What else? A lot of times I'd like to be semi-silly and goofy, but don't get on my bad side. Don't let the kindness fool you guys. We got all these former military tough guys. They talk tough. What's up with that? What's up with the guys that talk? They're just having a chat and they're talking tough. It's like, what's wrong with you? There was one guy, I don't really know his name. I know his channel, but I don't know his name. And he would do I don't know how often he was doing a video or a live stream, but he would get a good number of people, a few hundred people in. Maybe 20, 30, 40 watching at one time because they knew who he was, so they would come in they want to make sure that the gossip is or isn't about them. They want to hear the gossip. So the guys will come to hear gossip for whatever reason. But maybe not all living right. But he just sounded like tough. Like, oh, don't rub this guy the wrong way. He might throw a punch. I don't know. Sometimes the woman will say, don't mind him. His bark is worse than his bite. I don't know. But at my age, I don't want to find out. Especially if you're 6'5". It's hard to fight a taller man. Doesn't mean I can't do it. What you got to do is get him to fall down. You get him to fall down. That's like most of the battle, not all of it. But, I don't want to go through life talking about hurting people. That shouldn't be talked about. Let's go back to Marty. Are you still here? Let me know if you're still here, Marty. When will the rapture come? I said that what Christ said that nobody knows but the Father. So how can you look at what Christ said and tell me that's evidence of when there? You can't do that. There was a video and I made that comment. They're trying to figure out, what does the Bible say that tells me whether it will be a pre-tribulation rapture, a mid-tribulation rapture, or the end tribulation? We'll know we're in the rapture we'll know we're halfway through the rapture, 3.5 years, when the Antichrist is revealed, or shortly before that, when there's a peace treaty. Then we can look back three years and say, yeah, that this has been happening. But we won't know for sure until the Antichrist is revealed. And then we know we're in the mid-tribulation. That's why I think it's a mid-tribulation rapture. Right there. Not after the 7 bowls. That I don't think the godly people are going to go through 7 bowls. I just don't. But that's just me. That's only my opinion. You can only say opinion. So that's the name of that tune. I did on Facebook, I put up a picture of the Holy Bible and I said, here's where the answers to all your problems are. And I had a niece like give me the giggle, like, haha, you're stupid. She didn't say anything, but she just put the giggle symbol up there. It's like, that's the stupidest thing people do, is do the laugh icon, because there's nothing you can say. Yeah, I said one of the saddest prayers on Facebook to all Democrats, and then all of my worst enemies came right out and revealed themselves. Autistic people will go, I lost friends. Oh, this is bad. No, God fixed your friends list. Got rid of your enemies, the people who hate you. That's really what's going on. God, please fix my friends list. Oh, I'll tell all Democrats fighting to get rid of Trump. I'll tell you, may God have mercy on your soul, because the truth is not in you. And if that's true, and you don't know what the first commandment is, you are committing the unforgivable sin, and God will send you where you choose to be. And some of us call that hell. God sends you, you spend your life choosing where you want to go, right? And then people say, he's an unforgivable God. No, you committed the unforgivable sin, and you don't even know it. But you know everything. You know everything, according to in your own words, you know everything, or you know more than me, but you don't know what that is. You never knew it, and you never will. Because you like gossip. Most of you are narcissists. Not all. I can't say everyone's a narcissist. That would not be good. That would be slander. A lot of you are, though. Someone on Facebook said, get off my page. I said, the only way I'm getting off your page is if you unfriend me. Then 2 weeks later, he's telling me a joke. It's like, really? You can tell me all the jokes you want. You're not my friend. You're not my friend. That's what the enemy does. They try to deceive you. They try to deceive you. Beware. Watch out for deceptions, guys. Deception is getting worse and worse. That's how we know we're in the tribulation. I really don't know, but Jesus did say, you're going gaming. I get a lot of gamers here today. What's going on? Jesus did say to watch out for great deception. Many of you are being deceived right now, especially if you live in Los Angeles. Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York. Nothing much. Yeah, it's just weird that all my old gamer friends, connections, subscriptions, the people I've subscribed to, they all popped in just now. Well, in the last 10 or 12 minutes. Amazing. So maybe YouTube is sending out impressions. Maybe it's just a matter of time. I wasn't doing live streams for a while, so no one could get used to when I'm coming on. And 9:30 a.m. is not the best time, according to the analytics. 6 or 7 p.m. is the ultimate time for me in the Philippines. And I'm usually like, no, I don't want to go live. Norma, she has something else going on, so she doesn't push me to do it. If she did, that would happen. It would happen. But I gotta push her. We gotta push each other. Honey, I don't feel like going live alone at night because I'm not having coffee. Well, I could, but it's just a little different. I don't know what it is. It's fear. Do not be afraid, guys. Do not be afraid. That's what is most written in the Bible. And people think I'm a jerk. They hate you when you tell them that. And most of them are family. That's the sad part. It's like there's nothing I can say other than where the effing heck do you think you came from? Because the second law of thermodynamics says that over time, if there's an explosion, right, and time passes, the debris gets worse, not better. So how can life form from that? That's impossible. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. People don't want to hear it. They want to hear what color. I'm trying to think of a young star because there's so many older women on my mind. What color does that girl in that new pop group, what color underwear does she have on? Or let's take Michelle Obama. I asked Grok on Twitter, on X, what is the truth about Michelle Obama's sex? And it gave me all the stuff because I selected deep thought. And it gave me too much to read. But what it said was the overwhelming odds are that it's a false rumor. And I'm thinking, nowhere. I didn't read the whole thing, but I didn't read. The only way to check is to pull her pants off and find out. That's the only way to check, right? That sounds ungodly, but hey, Michelle, you could end those rumors if you show us a vagina. Now, I'm not cheering for the far left to win any argument because the truth is not in them. I can piss them off by saying one thing, and then you know that the truth is not in them. That would be my next statement because it's happened over and over again. And you don't have to wish. I never wish that they go to hell. I pray that the Lord has mercy on their soul. They hate that. Why is that? Because they know it's not going to happen. One guy almost told me he hates the thought of God. Your God is a vengeful God. Well, he's your God too. That's the other thing. People that don't understand the Holy Spirit, they think everyone has the separate God. It's like, how did billions of separate gods create everything alike, including birds, fish, and animals? That's not proof that we come from animals. That's proof that life is created. All life is created by the same being. That's all that proves. They don't know what really proves stuff. It's like they don't. People with science degrees don't understand how science works because they have a cheap degree. They take the evolution of species. I don't know what they call the degrees, but there's a lot of cheapo degrees up there, so universities can get more money. You get a college student loan, and that money's guaranteed to the universities. They're running things. The conglomerate is running things, and you're not in the club. They actually want you dead. They'll let you smoke your dope legally, and live in a city where they can control you and annihilate you in a world war, or let you get annihilated because the cities will go first. And then the super rich, they'll be in bunkers in the mountains that where nobody else is around. So you won't survive to bother them. But they won't survive either because the earth is going to break up and volcanoes will kill them. They don't know what happened. They know everything except what happened at Mount St. Helens. They paid no attention to it. All mountains and mountain ranges are going to turn into volcanoes. And they think, oh, no, Jay, that's not true. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. They don't understand it. They do not. If you guys make chats, we'll switch the discussion to a chat if I find it interesting. Just want to let you know that. Where was I? Do you mind if I take like a 50-second break? I want to refresh I just need a coffee. It's right over there. I'll be right back. I don't have music set up. I did music 2 days ago, but the mic didn't pick it up. I don't understand. Maybe it wasn't loud enough. It seemed loud. I could hear it everywhere, but maybe it wasn't loud enough for the mic to pick up. Maybe the mic is muting noise. That could be it too. I'll have to go back into the settings and screw everything up. There's so many settings, I couldn't get this all working right for a long time. When you buy a new computer, I bought a gaming computer. It's like, no, things aren't doing what I want them to do. It's not just having memory and hard drive space. It's like there's so much more that you like in the background that you don't know. I don't care who you are, you don't know what's going on in the background. I was a temp. I did temporary payroll for a high-tech company in Massachusetts. This was years ago. And I could hear one of the technicians getting scolded by a manager in the lunchroom of all places, or the break room, I guess what they called it. And he wasn't in trouble, but he was just saying, we don't pay you to write code. You just work on the code that's a part of your daily process. I forget exactly how he said that, but that was basically it. You only work on what we give you to work with. That's how we operate here, or else we won't be successful. We won't succeed if every technician is writing code. That's how viruses are made. It's code that isn't good enough, and then it gets out there. A lot of viruses are made to just run out and look for places to hide and create difficulties. What they usually do is if you get too many viruses, then your computer doesn't work right because they get in the way of each other. And they get in the way of, you could have two programs. One of them could be thwarting another without you knowing it, and then the computer acts funny and it doesn't. How come I can't get this to work right? I started taking programs out, programs that I didn't use that were actually built in to the computer, and I just took them out, a couple, and because I said I'm never going to use this, so and then finally everything's like working. So I'm not exactly sure what did it, but StreamYard could have changed, but it wasn't working on YouTube either. So, I guess StreamYard wasn't working until maybe it was a StreamYard problem. I don't know, but I'm using StreamYard right now. So I'll be back in about a half a minute to a minute. I'm just going to grab a coffee and we're going to keep going here. So I'll be right back. Thanks for sticking around, guys. I made a slight mistake. I stuck cheese in my mouth. Can you imagine watching mainstream TV, the liars, the paid liars? They're paid not to put food in their mouth or even drink. But they're lying their asses off. Hey, Yads, thanks for coming in. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around. That was like a little over a minute there. I just went to get coffee. Norma has me on big screen upstairs, I think. Thank you for watching, everybody. Yeah, you really are staying in America. I wasn't sure if that was the truth. Not that you're a liar, but maybe you misunderstood me. Are you staying long-term in America? I don't even know. Thank you for visiting J Mike's channel. Hi, Din Sayo Lunga. Welcome sa bahay ni J Mike. Maybe, because I'm thinking maybe you didn't understand the question when I asked you a month ago. You are staying in America. So there's no, you did say that you either quit or no longer working at the school, I think. Hello, Guapa. There's Norma. Norma's here. Awesome. So you're sticking. The funny thing is that I'm from New England, and that's where you are. No, I didn't live in your town. I lived in Pelham, New Hampshire, and I lived in Lowell, Massachusetts, which they touch. Lowell will run you right into Pelham. If you go Route 28, I think it's 28, yeah. 28 in Lowell runs all the way through Lowell and then all the way up into New Hampshire, like way up. Guapanorma. Who knows what guapa means? Guapa means good looking. Good looking. Good looking Norma. Good looking Yads. There's an old song. Hey, good looking, what you got cooking? That's an old country song. That goes back before my time. And I'm old. So, oh, it's not there. I don't have it there. I guess you guys don't care. Who cares about the NBA? They're in the finals. The NBA is in the finals. Finally, they have two teams. The Thunder won it as another franchise from Seattle. I think Seattle had one title. At least one. So, but I don't know if they're calling themselves this, because I don't follow it that closely. I don't remember if they're calling themselves the same franchise because they changed the name and the city and the name. So it could be that they're not taking that franchise. Oh, here we go. Let's go to Daniel Berry's channel. Indiana's getting whooped. What period are they in? I'll just be here for a few seconds, so I'm not going to stay. You can't see it. They're in what quarter are they in? I can't tell. I think they're in the third quarter. 5 minutes left in the third. 75-62, Oklahoma City. So you want to win that game. You want to win game 5, guys. Actually, game 4, I think, is crucial, and Indiana won that one. So that's a big one. We shall see. I could ask Grok. Give me too much information. Don't want deep thought. Don't want deep thought on Grok. forgot what to talk about. What are we going to do? We're so busy. We're a busy couple. We have a beautiful house. It's more beautiful inside than you think when you look on the outside, but it's beautiful on both sides. We painted inside and out. This year we got it all done. It's gorgeous. We did the outdoor kitchen. Fairly kind of modern. It's not the most modern. It doesn't match up with those $1 million homes up in Angeles City, but it's not bad. I'll take it. And we got the outdoor kubo, if you can even call it a kubo. It's like a house without walls, but we have shower curtains. That was Norma's idea. And it was when you first started doing that, I thought, this is not cool. Why are we doing this? This looks retarded. I didn't say anything, but that's what I was thinking. And then when it started raining and getting windy, I thought, that's a damn good idea. We have 10 shower curtains held up by rope, not hooks, because they'll blow off the hooks. Held up by rope and rings and more rope and clothespins. I guess that's what you call them, clothespins or something like that. And because the wind blows them. So if there's too much wind, they'll blow up and then they get caught on something and then they're not. They block the rainwater is what they do. Hence the term shower curtain. But they don't keep the floor dry, but they help when the wind's blowing the water sideways. It helps everything from getting wet. Because there's 2 tables, 2 sets of chairs. There's a couple of things on the table, not that much. But there's a jukebox and then there's a handheld portable radio. So we don't want everything getting ruined. So it's a wonderful idea that Norma came up with. I don't know where you got. I didn't, because I haven't seen anyone else with shower curtains anywhere, unless they had them pinned up and I didn't see it. Occasionally we go to different areas, some of them nice, some of them squatter areas. There's family everywhere. And we sing. They all have the same thing, though, and that's the videoke jukebox. They're all similar. They're all different, but they're all similar. And we sing karaoke. I love to do that. That's really what blends me in with being Filipino. Filipino ako. Thank you so much. Why you don't believe? So she won't come out and say it. She's just asking me a question that's it. The odds is that you're keeping me in suspense. I guess you can never say never, because that means you can't change your mind. I came here once and I got a going away party by my daughter. That was wonderful. But then I came back a few months later for Christmas, and then everything changed. Everything changed. They weren't so happy to see me go. Now they hate me. See, I don't want to tell anyone that their journey in the belief in the getting to know God, I don't want to tell anyone that I think that's not true, because I don't know. It's not perfectly like unbeliever one day going to heaven the next. It's a steady climb. Oh, we got to do that backward. It's a steady climb. Well, it's like the stock market. There's ups and downs, but hopefully you go up and you don't fall off the cliff. So, learning about God, that's how that works. So there's a Trinity. There's 3 things you got. A lot of people don't understand that either. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. They don't understand that, or not completely. Or they don't know what it is or what it means. Who created God? If God created everything, who created God? That's a big question that atheists ask. I know who didn't create God. An explosion that settled for billions of years and then suddenly there's life. Yeah, that didn't cause life. They don't understand that there's timelessness where spirits reside. There's no matter and there's no space and there's no time. They don't. Humans can't and animals can't understand that we don't understand that. And they don't think that that's a possibility because they don't understand it. God tells us that. Don't rely on your own understanding of everything. Your thoughts are not God's thoughts. Hey, there's Len Whistler. What's up, Len? All the way from Canada, Len Whistler. Hello. Thank you for stopping in. So, my mind's jumping all over the place. And then I said, no, don't say that. I used to have a lot of blue tops, a lot of blue clothing. And now this is my only baby blue t-shirt that I have. I have a royal blue polo and a baby blue t-shirt. And then I have some dark, it's like a blue violet t-shirt. It doesn't even look bright blue. So I broke away from blue, but I have blue eyes. Nobody wants to hear it. What do you guys want to hear? If you give me something interesting in the chat, I will talk about it. Or else, we're coming up on the 1 hour mark. I could say goodbye, everybody. Thanks for sticking around when I went to get my coffee. It's easy to do that when you have somebody on panel, but everybody hates me. Don't say that, Jay. Your Filipino family loves you. Yeah, that's why there's only 5 watching right now. We had a peak of, let's see what the peak was. I think it was 12. Could have been higher. Where are we? Analytics. It's not instant. It takes a few seconds for that to pop up. Let's see. Peak was 12. Yep. That lasted a while. Lasted about 45 minutes. And then when I came back for my coffee, we still had 12 watching, but then it dropped down about 10 minutes later. So anyway, that's all. But there's no written agenda. Thanks for sticking around for a while. Stream is excellent. Oh. Did I set this to be monetized? When I go live, I forget. I forget. My talking comes to a halt when I. Oh, there we go. Okay. So when I'm looking at analytics, I don't talk. I was the controller of a hotel, and I always had my mouth shut when I'm thinking. But I also had an open door with HR question. People would bring an HR question, and then I got to stop thinking. And then when you do that, you got to start over. You can't just, when you're in mid thought, you can't just pick up mid thought. You got to go back to the beginning. That accountants hate that, but it's always part of the job. When you're a controller, you're not just a bookkeeper. You're a manager, a servant manager. Trump is in Canada, but he's leaving early due to the Iran situation. Well, there's always excuses. He's a runner. He's always running around. So he loves it. He's not doing it for the money. That's how you know he's honest. He ain't doing it. So we did a live stream 3 years ago when someone said, I hated him as president because he became a billionaire by working for the government. He's a crook. And I went, you don't know what you're talking about. He's the only president who did not accept the pay. The pay is donated to his favorite charity, which is not a Trump organization. So when people make statements like that, you know they don't. That's how you know that the truth is not in them. When you say things that you don't know to be true, you're a liar. And if you don't know it's a lie, then you're pretty stupid. That's what's happening to people. And I don't mean you're stupid out of hatred. That's what's happening in the world. It's not, I'm like, I used the word retarded once. I went, I'm not calling you retarded out of hatred. The truth is not in you, and that tells me that you're stupid or you're retarded. Not because the truth is not in you, but because you're fighting against Trump and you're trying to help Democrats get rid of him because they're liars and thieves. Democrat lying thieves are trying to get rid of Trump, and you're supporting that. And you're putting out memes that tell me that makes you retarded. Well, I've heard that he said that Trump was on the Epstein list. I think but that doesn't mean Trump's a pedophile. Alan Dershowitz is also on the list, and he's saying, no, I was his lawyer. But at some point, you know the truth. Trump wasn't a regular visitor. I don't know if he was on the island or just... Trump has been seen with Epstein at Mar-a-Lago, and then he banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago. That's true. But what Musk said is just that he's on... Maybe that's true, he's on Epstein's list. That doesn't mean he's a frequent traveler. He said it to see what everyone else is saying, is going to like, okay, so now he's opening the door to that. What are they going to say? I think there's one thing's for sure. All Democrats are liars. If you're a Democrat or if you vote Democrat and you think that ain't true, I suggest you look in the mirror and say, what's Jay talking about? Because I was effing Democrat for when I was a kid. And a long time ago, I decided, wait a minute, this ain't my party. Back in the 80s, it might have been 83 or 84, right around there, I said, wait a minute. This party, the Democrats, are full of it. 1983, that's more than 40 years, it was 42 years ago. It might have been 82 or it was the early 80s. I think it was 82. Right around there, I said, wait a minute. And then I was listening to these arguments. There's good and bad in both. So for a couple of years, but then after 84, I said, no. And then people would say, well, because I'm still listening, because my state, Massachusetts, was all Democrat, no Republican Party in Massachusetts. The Republican Mitt Romney is a fake Republican. He is a Democrat running as a Republican where he can get votes. That makes him a liar. So I don't know how far I want to go with this. So there was always a question, well, who's telling the truth here? Who's telling the truth? The confusion was caused by Democrats. All Democrats always cause confusion, and God is not of confusion. The devil is of confusion. That's how you know. The first truth is that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth and life and time and space and matter. Anyone that doesn't believe that will go berserk because the devil's running their life. And that's how you know that the truth is not in them and they're liars, and there's nothing else they can say. If you think there is, then you don't know what the truth is. The people who disagree with the first truth are a problem. As far as I know, without getting into the details of everything, Musk is not trying to bring Trump down. He just said something, and then I think he wanted to see where that goes. He wanted to bring out the talks, which would bring out more information, which is not a bad thing. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm not jumping into every story as it comes out. If you're doing that, you're crazy. You are crazy. And a lot of older people do that because they didn't spend their younger days figuring out anything. That's the problem we have today. When people were younger, they weren't learning, they weren't like tracking real information in their heads. They weren't logical. They were just having fun. Most people have fun. Fun. And then when they get older, they got nothing to do but watch the news. And it's like, and they're being deceived. Most people are still being deceived. Don't be deceived. Christ wrote, or the apostles wrote, five of the apostles wrote, do not be deceived. Deception, there will be great deception in the end times, and that's where we are now. We are at the beginning of labor. They call it labor pains or birthing pains. We're in the beginning. It's setting up for the end times. Canada, if we have enough time to develop, for things to develop, some of the Canadian provinces will become states, along with Greenland. So that doesn't make Trump the Antichrist. It's not Trump. The Modi, I believe, will be the Antichrist. Or I don't know if there's one Modi or more than one. I don't know. But there's already people saying that they're Christ. The Pope is another one. He is not of Christ. He's of Mary. He's a believer in Mary, which makes him an Antichrist. It's unbelievable. The Pope, now Catholics are Christian because they say so, but there's things, they're sinners. You can't say, well, I was born Catholic and I know I was baptized, when I was 5 days old, so therefore I'm saved and I don't have to worry about it. That's not true. If you're Catholic, you do have to worry about it, just like everybody else. The Oprah Winfreys and the Joel Osteens don't know what they're talking about. They're making stuff up. They're making stuff up. Joel Osteen is a prosperity gospel preacher. He's a liar. That makes him a liar. By being a prosperity gospel teacher, that makes him a liar. More is expected of people who preach falsely. More is expected of you from the Lord. All right, so give it a couple more seconds. I should have changed the colors, but it is what it is, I guess. And it's still not too late. It's still morning time. We're gonna travel tomorrow again. We're traveling like every third day we get out of here. Even though it's a beautiful place. We just like to get out there and see things and do stuff. That's how you get video. Someone said, change your theme. I said, you got any suggestions? Change my theme? What's your theme? You get nothing. You show high-priced sports cars from sports car sales lots near to you, right? And there's not enough of that. That's too competitive for you to really get any traction with, because it was nice to see you driving one or in the buckled up in the passenger seat. That's cool, but you're not going to do 1,000 videos like that, because they're not your car. You're not the dealer. You're a journalist. Oh, that's fun, but you can't rely on last year's video. You can only do so many videos of looking at, the Lamborghinis and whatever other Maseratis, whatever they are. You got to have your own theme. It ain't easy. Even when I was sitting with my wife doing the talks we did last year, that's hard. That's hard to do that because we're editing. The time you spend editing a video is more time than the video itself. And then we want to know where we're going to put in the stickers and how do we do that. Most channels have separate people doing that stuff. Like there's a person doing thumbnails and it takes them all day. And there's a person that's wondering what are the stickers. The editor's wondering where their stickers going. What are we going to cut out? Maybe I'm the director, maybe I'm not. It's my channel, so I probably am, but I don't have all the answers to all the questions. I know the answers to questions, but I don't have all the answers, like to trending things. I don't. I know what makes something trending is something that has primary colors like red, yellow, and blue. And, the thumbnail looks like this. Or that. But you got to put it all together. You got to have generally searched words in the title, but the title has to tell me what I'm looking at. And, and it has to be provocative. And then the stickers have to say, I'm clicking that. The sticker has to make a kid want to click it. Even if he watches for 10 seconds and then says, no, this ain't that, never mind. You'd still get a view out of that. That's what you're trying to do, but it ain't easy. And if you do it for one video, like the algorithm is going to shut you off. If you're a dead channel or if you haven't done anything in a year, and then you say, oh, I want to start doing my videos again. Like the last time I checked, it was a while back, and like a couple of months ago, I checked your channel and I went, oh, he's slowing down. He's not really putting up videos like he was before. And I told him he's got good videos, but you got to keep going. So that's the other thing. Channels aren't consistent. I've kept going approximately three videos per day now for like 2 years. And it's 6.5 million views, but it's mostly shorts. With my regular videos, they're harder to do. And there's no one helping me. Now, my wife was in the co-pilot seat, but she wasn't doing any of the technical things. She was just being there with me, which is all I'm asking her to do, but that's asking a lot. We need to go back to that, but it's very hard to do those videos because I'm just one person. If there's like two or more, the good channels have 4 or 5 people working for them at least. I don't know how many people are working for Redacted, but I do know he was a Fox weekend anchor at one point a few years ago, and now his wife is there. I know they have an engineer. He's the stream runner. I'm not even sure if he's the stream runner, but he's like maybe the chief engineer. I'm not sure what the duties are or how many people they have that are also working with them. But I do know they're all in the same building. That's the other thing. And that everything is put out on schedule. They're live on schedule, and then they'll take a clip out of the live stream and put it up as a video on schedule. Everything's like pretty much scheduled. And they'll have some shorts too. I don't know how they're scheduling it or what that looks like, but it's all pretty structured. And then they get, 1 million subscribers or 800,000 subscribers. I don't have that. I don't have my silver button. I'm not even close. And I'm not US based, so I'm not doing too much news. We're just barely talking about a little news, but not that much. I think it's not screaming at me, but I think there's a little left-wing activity going on here, but it's not hardcore. but they lean that way. We gotta throw them a popsicle. We gotta appease them. Is the way they're dealing with that. Or I am on the left, but I don't want to like fuck everybody over. Not sure what they're thinking. I'm not. I got to be careful because I can't put words in their mouth. I'll get in trouble for that. There's a sign at the airport, the international section, and the arrival section, international arrivals, that said foreigners are not allowed to get involved in politics. So don't take money for that. You can't be a fundraiser or anything like that. You can't run for office. You can't be a fundraiser, and you can't work for people running for office in that way. You just got to be careful, and that could spill over into, if I'm making statements that would support or go against a politician, I got to be careful. I can talk about a singular worldly issue, but I can't, like, this politician has this belief and that politician has that belief. I'm not doing that. I'm not naming people by names, that's for sure. Because I don't have any Filipinos statements or opinions at the top of my head. I'm not thinking that way. I'm thinking if politics starts in the US and all US Democrats are liars. Lying thieves actually is what they are. And if you don't know they're a thief, that doesn't mean they're not. You're a liar. You're a liar, and the world will soon be on fire, and that will corroborate what I've said. See you guys later. May God have mercy on your souls if you don't believe me.